Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today we're tackling a question many of you have actually asked. Is Archer Aviation a good time to buy now? We're diving into the fascinating and, let's be honest, pretty speculative world of electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, or, EVTOLs. We're going to try to unpack all the angles for you, from their current financials and market position to future catalysts and, importantly, the significant risks involved. Before we jump in, if you find these discussions helpful, please take a moment to subscribe, maybe like this discussion, and leave a comment below. And hey, if there's a specific company you'd like us to look into next, just let us know in the comments. We really do love hearing from you.
Yeah, it's a great topic. Archer Aviation, it really embodies that whole high-risk, high-reward thing you see when investing in, well, truly brand-new industries. It's a compelling case study, actually, for understanding that tension between, groundbreaking innovation and commercial reality.
Okay, so let's pull back the curtain then on Archer Aviation's financial reality. When you look at a company like this, pushing boundaries, the usual financial metrics, they look a bit different, don't they?
You're absolutely right. Archer is firmly in what we call a pre-revenue stage. As of its latest filings, they haven't actually generated any commercial sales. $0 in revenue. Now, that might sound alarming, but it's not entirely unexpected for a development stage company in this kind of sector. However, the losses are accelerating significantly. Their most recent quarterly loss was over $200 million. That's a whopping 93% increase year over year in Q2 2025. It really tells you just how much capital it takes to, build this future.
Wow. Okay. So if they're not making money, how are they staying afloat? How are they developing these, incredible founding aircraft?
Good question. They've relied heavily on capital raises. Archer has brought in over, I think, $1 billion in new equity to fund operations. As of June 30, 2025, they reported having about $450 million in cash and short-term investments and minimal short-term debt, which is good. However, the cash burn, it remains exceptionally high. It's primarily driven by R&D, research and development and prototype production. We're talking over $500 million used in operating activities on a trailing 12-month basis.
$500 million burned.
Yeah. And this raises a really important question for investors, right? What does this high cash burn imply?
Dilution.
Exactly. Potential future dilution for existing shareholders. Every time they need more cash, they likely issue more shares, and that reduces everyone else's slice of the pie. It's the cost of pioneering, basically.
Right. A serious risk to keep in mind. Now, despite that pre-revenue picture and the cash burn, Archer Aviation isn't just sitting there. They seem to have some substantial competitive advantages, and they're making operational progress. So what makes them stand out in what seems like a pretty crowded eVTOL space?
Well, one of the key things, and maybe the most important, is Archer's early lead in eVTOL certification. This isn't just, a technical badge. It's a critical differentiator. Regulatory approval is arguably the biggest hurdle here. Beyond that, they've secured some really strong partnerships. Think major players like United Airlines and Stellantis.
Okay, big names, but what do those partnerships actually mean? Are they just exploring, or?
That's fair. No, these seem deeper than just exploration. United provides a potential future operator, market access. It validates the actual demand side. And Stellantis offers crucial manufacturing expertise. That's vital for scaling up beyond just, a few prototypes.
Right, manufacturing is key.
Definitely. And operationally, they already have 6 Midnight aircraft in production, 3 in final assembly. So it's tangible progress, not just designs on paper. And crucially, they've made significant strides with the FAA certification. That's a tough multi-year process. Plus, they've been designated as the air taxi provider for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. That's a huge high-profile stage.
Wow, the Olympics.
Yeah. And their announced entry into the UAE airspace, that hints at real international expansion plans. These aren't small things. They're measurable steps towards commercialization, and it arguably puts them ahead of quite a few competitors.
That does sound promising.
Right.
Powerful validation. But, is the sky totally clear for them? Or are there other serious contenders really vying for this futuristic market? Seems like everyone wants a piece of the flying car action.
Oh, it's definitely not clear skies. The broader eVTOL space is highly competitive. You've got notable peers like Joby Aviation. They also have significant certification progress. And Lilium, though their focus may be on a slightly different market segment, Archer still has to overcome substantial manufacturing hurdles, regulatory goalposts that might move, and demand risks. Will people actually pay for this at scale? Connecting this to the bigger picture, the race to commercialization among all these players is intense. Overcoming these hurdles is critical for market leadership. It's not just about building the aircraft, it's about building a sustainable business.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've looked at the operations, the strategy. Let's shift gears to the stock itself. For people looking at the ticker, ACHR, what's the price action telling us? What's the general mood among investors right now?
Okay, yeah, the technicals. As of September 7th, 2025, Archer Aviation trades near $8.60, and you'll notice that's pretty much at the bottom of its one-year range.
The bottom of the range, okay.
Yeah. Short-term technical forecast suggests some support maybe around $6.57, and resistance up near, say, $9.80 to $10 through November 2025. What's really fascinating here is the sheer volatility. We've seen the stock move between roughly $6.50 and $10 just in 2025 alone.
So definitely not for the faint of heart.
Not at all. Wide price swings are the norm here. Looking at indicators, the price is currently below its 50-day moving average, but it is still above its 200-day. That kind of suggests a flat to slightly negative trend over the last 3 months or so. The RSI, the Relative Strength Index, is near 40. That's often considered oversold, but, not extremely so. And the MACD, that's the Moving Average Convergence Divergence, it's showing pretty neutral momentum right now.
So kind of mixed signals from the charts then. Leaning cautious, maybe?
Yeah, I'd say mixed, leaning cautious in the very short term. No strong buy signal jumping out from the charts alone.
Okay. What about the news flow and how people are feeling about Archer? Has anything really moved the needle recently?
Absolutely. There was a pretty significant event recently. United Airlines CFO actually took a 55-mile test flight on Archer's Midnight eVTOL.
Oh, wow. The CFO flew in it.
Yeah. That's a huge vote of confidence, right? Provides really strong validation for the tech, adds credibility. And the ongoing FAA certifications, the LA Olympics contract we mentioned, those are significant positives getting attention. Same with the UAE announcement, signaling global reach. However, analyst sentiment is, it's decidedly mixed.
Also,
You see some reports highlighting explosive upside if commercialization succeeds. Very optimistic takes. But then on the other side, major advisory services like the Motley Fool stock advisor, while they acknowledged the potential, they cited the high risk and specifically did not include Archer in their top buy list for 2025. They really emphasized the speculative nature.
right. Caution from some corners.
Exactly. And social media sentiment, particularly among retail investors, seems highly speculative but generally positive. It reflects, hopes for a massive breakthrough more than deep fundamental analysis, perhaps.
And insiders, buying or selling.
Interestingly, no substantial insider buying or selling reported recently, which for a stock that's volatile you sometimes look for, but nothing significant there lately.
Okay, so we've covered where Archer is now, how the market's reacting. But for an investor, the big question is always, what's next? What are the key events, the milestones we should be watching for with Archer in the coming months, maybe years, that could really, move the stock?
Right, the catalysts. Well, the immediate future holds several key dates. The Q3 2025 earnings release is expected early November 2025. Investors will be watching that closely, not just for financials, but for updates on operations, cash runway.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then in October, we'll see institutional holdings updates that can show shifts in where the smart money is moving. And November could bring potential ETF rebalancing events, like from ARK Invest, maybe. That could influence trading volume and sentiment. Plus, a Q4 earnings preview usually lands in December, setting expectations for 2026.
Okay, those are the scheduled things. What about potential surprises?
Ah, yes. The unscheduled stuff is often where the real excitement is with these kinds of stocks. We could see additional flight test results announced, further regulatory milestones like more FAA certifications, maybe even the first revenue flights, potentially later this year in Q4 2025. That would be huge.
First revenue, yeah, that's the key.
Absolutely. Announcements on new strategic partnerships or maybe updates on scaling production, any of those could trigger significant short-term volatility. These are the things the market reacts strongly to.
And looking further out, that 2028 Olympics contract seems massive. How foundational is that?
It's potentially pivotal. If they execute successfully, the 2028 Olympics could really establish Archer as a leading eVTOL provider, unparalleled global spotlight. Beyond that, achieving full-scale commercialization, getting those comprehensive regulatory approvals both here and internationally, those are the absolute must-haves for long-term success. The United Partnership, assuming they hit operational targets, could lead to material commercial orders down the line. But ultimately, the really long-term outlook hinges on broader industry adoption of eVTOLs, right?
Yeah, the whole ecosystem needs to develop.
Exactly. The massive task of building out the urban air mobility infrastructure, the vertiports, charging networks, air traffic control.
It's a huge undertaking.
It is. Plus successful international expansion. And then there are always whispers, rumors of accelerated certifications, maybe strategic acquisitions, more international demo flights, even enhanced government subsidies. Those are more speculative catalysts, but they could be powerful if they materialize.
Okay, so a lot hinges on future execution and broader trends. Now, with such a, well, groundbreaking, forward-looking company, we absolutely have to talk about the flip side, the risks. What are the major red flags an investor should be really aware of here? This isn't exactly buying a blue chip stock.
No, definitely not. And this is where you really have to weigh that incredible potential against some very significant obstacles. Stock-specific risks for Archer are substantial. First, it's still an unproven business model. Zero commercial revenues as of now. That means no track record of actually making money.
Right, number one.
Second, that high cash burn we talked about, it basically guarantees ongoing capital raises are needed, which almost certainly means significant dilution for current shareholders, eroding their equity stake over time.
Okay, dilution risk, check.
Third, considerable regulatory risks. Potential delays, maybe even denials from the FAA or other bodies. Think about the complexity. Battery safety standards, integrating potentially thousands of new aircraft into crowded airspace, pilot training for totally new vehicles. These are huge, unprecedented challenges. Could slow everything down.
Yeah, the hurdles are immense.
Immense. And finally, significant execution risks. Can they actually manufacture these things reliably? Can they scale production? Can they deliver safe aircraft consistently? These aren't just concerns we have. The company explicitly cited these risks in their own 2024 10K filings. They know these are major challenges.
Okay, so those are the company-specific challenges. What about the wider environment? Any external market or sector risks that could hit them, even if they do everything right internally?
Oh, absolutely. You can't look at Archer in a vacuum. The whole eVTOL market is nascent, right? Brand new. That means the regulatory landscape could change rapidly as governments figure out how to handle this tech. New hurdles could pop up unexpectedly. Competition, as we said, is fierce. Other well-funded players are pushing hard. Also, think about the economy. An economic downturn could seriously hurt demand for what will likely start as a premium air mobility service. Mass adoption gets harder if people can't afford it.
Good point. It's not likely to be cheap initially.
Probably not. And just the broader sector sentiment, it's highly cyclical and speculative. Funding can dry up, valuations can swing wildly based on overall market mood, affecting everyone in the space, not just Archer.
Okay, so putting this all together, the exciting potential, the progress they've made, but also these really significant financial, operational, and market risks. What's the bottom line for an investor looking at Archer Aviation right now? Is it a buy, a hold, wait and see?
Well, after going through everything, our analysis leads us to give Archer Aviation an overall rating of 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. So, leaning cautious.
Definitely cautious. Archer remains fundamentally a high-risk, high-reward, pre-revenue stock. The speculative potential is there, no doubt, but it's matched by very significant execution and financial risks. Yes, it has technological momentum. Yes, it has strong partnerships and has made good regulatory inroads, which are commendable. But the lack of revenues right now and that persistent, very high cash burn are major concerns you just can't ignore. Plus, the recent price action, the technicals, they don't show any decisive bullish momentum. And while sentiment, especially retail, might be positive, it feels largely speculative.
So who is it for them?
In summary, Archer Aviation seems best suited for aggressive speculative positioning, for risk-tolerant investors who genuinely understand and accept the possibility of losing that entire investment.
Okay, so not for your average long-term portfolio allocation right now.
Not currently, no. It doesn't seem suited for typical long-term investment until those commercialization milestones are actually proven, and until we see much better cash flow visibility. The path to profitability needs to be clearer. Short-term traders, maybe they'll find volatility opportunities here, but long-term investors should probably wait for clearer signs of sustainable revenue generation and a substantially reduced risk profile before considering a meaningful position.
Archer Aviation.
Yeah.
Really is a fascinating but complex case study, isn't it? It perfectly captures both that exhilarating promise and the deep caution that comes with investing in truly disruptive technologies. You've got this amazing vision flying taxis, reshaping urban mobility, but then the harsh realities of pioneering an entirely new incredibly capital-intensive industry.
Exactly. The future is rarely a straight line, especially in fields like this. Vision alone, no matter how compelling it is, doesn't automatically guarantee commercial success. It's going to be a long, challenging road ahead for them and for the whole industry, really.
So, as you, our listeners, consider Archer Aviation and this whole eVTOL landscape, maybe ponder this final thought. How will the development of future urban infrastructure, the vertiports, the charging networks, the specialized air traffic control, maybe even more importantly, how will shifts in consumer demand for premium, ultra-fast travel ultimately shape the success or perhaps even the failure of this entire eVTOL industry? It goes way beyond just this one company.
Yeah, all those pieces need to fall into place in a way we've never really seen before.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for tuning in to Investing Talk podcast. We hope this look at Archer Aviation has given you some valuable insights to inform your own thinking. We'll be back soon with another exploration to your requested topics.